Hey everyone, it's Justine the Twilight Stamper, and I'm here for the 3 cards 1 stamp series of March 2015. I'm excited to bring to you the Botanical Love stamp set from Create a Smile Stamps. I'll be creating 3 very versatile cards, including a watercolor, distress resist, and Copic coloring with vellum. So here's a look at the stamp set up close and personal. As you can see, I've already used it. And I created a card before with this stamp, and I really love the flowers. I think they're really beautiful, and they're big, and they're bold, and you can do so much with them, and there's so many ideas on the Create a Smile website as well that you'll need to check out. To begin, I'm going to be taking some really thick washi tape. It's got a really thick width to it, and we're going to be using that to mask off an area. You can use masking tape as well, or masking paper. That would work also. I'm going to take these 3 stamps, and I'm going to pick them up with my stamp press, so I have them all in place where exactly how I had them on my card. I'm going to be using some Versamark ink, and I'm going to ink up these stamps very thoroughly so that they have a nice even coat on them. And I'm going to stamp these here onto my card in between the masking tape that I had put down earlier, the washi tape. You're going to see that you can see the stamp that I stamped there. It is clear. I'm going to tuck behind these pieces of washi tape so that the embossing powder doesn't get stuck on them. And I'm just going to add some embossing powder. I'm using white ultrafine embossing powder from Ranger. And I'm just going to flick the back of the card there so that I make sure that I get all the excess off. Using a heat gun, I heat embossed this, and you can see how there's a shine to it now, and this is called resist embossing. So I have the embossing done, and I'm going to add some distress ink to it, and that white is going to resist any color I put on top of it because it's a dye-based ink. Yeah, so if you wanted to go in and color with Copics or something like that, the white does not resist it. Anything water-based, it does resist though. So I'm going to be using a variety of colors from Tim Holtz. These distress inks are really awesome for blending. I'm going to start off with the picked raspberry, and I always start kind of off the paper and work my way in. Using a craft mat makes a really smooth transition from the mat to the paper. So I'm just going to add it so that it's a really vibrant color. I really wanted vibrant colors on this card. Next is peacock feathers. Peacock feathers is kind of a turquoisey blue color, and I'm going to add that into the others. Those are probably my brightest colors here, so I didn't want to put them next to each other. Next, I went in with peeled paint. I wasn't exactly happy with the peeled paint because it kind of turned into like a brownie color when I started mixing them, so I decided to stop there. Then I added spice marmalade. I added that to the top of the card and then brought it down. As you can see, I ended up going off of the masking tape. This is where I prefer to use masking paper so I can have a really thick border around it and not go off onto my white part of my card. Lastly, I came in with some mustard seed and just kind of blended that in with the rest of the colors. So now when I took off the masking tape, I realized that I had gone off of my masking area and I had that line. Instead of starting over, which I probably normally would do, I ended up just cutting out this panel to fix my mistake. But normally when you peel that off, that should not happen if your masking tape or your washi tape or your masking paper is thick enough. So I ended up doing this extra step, and it ended up not being just a 1-layer card like I had planned, but not a big deal. And I went in with my paper trimmer, and I trimmed off the area that I had distressed because I didn't want it to go to waste. Next, I took another white card base, measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 like my last one, and I attached this colored panel to the card using a tape runner. And again, I normally wouldn't have done this and it would have been a 1-layer card, but I like to try and fix my mistakes and solve my problems. So it ended up looking not a lot different anyway. And when you look at it from afar like you are right now, you don't really notice that it's not actually a 1-layer card. The next step was to create a sentiment, or to use a sentiment, also from the same stamp set. With the 3 cards 1 stamp series, I like to use the same stamp set so you can see how versatile a stamp set can be, and to just use the 1 stamp if you want to recreate these to make it an affordable option for recreating this card. So I used the Be Happy stamp, and I inked that up using black Simon Says stamp ink, and stamped that onto the bottom right-hand corner of my card. I felt the panel looked a little dull and like it was kind of so separate from the background, so I decided to make it pop out a little bit by using a black distress marker to outline it. I didn't really care for the fine tip point when I did that the first time, so I went in with the brush tip next, and then I thought that that looked much better, almost like it was a cardstock panel. Next, I created a black card base, measures 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches, and I used some tape runner and attached this card front to the actual card itself. I think that made the light colors really pop out really well with the black background. So thank you so much for watching my video today, and I hope you'll join me Wednesday and Friday for the other 2 videos featuring the Botanical Love stamp set from Create a Smile Stamps. All the supplies are listed on my blog below with clickable links. Here you're welcome to subscribe to my channel, and I also have a video from January and February's 3 cards, 1 stamp series. Thanks so much for watching.